Surely I have turned myself to thee, O Allah, striving to be upright to he who originated the heavens and the earth, and I am not of the polytheists. Surely my prayer, my sacrifice, my life, and my death are all for Allah, the Lord of the worlds. No associate has he. Of this I am commanded, and I am of those who submit. O Allah, thou art the King, and there is no God but thee. Thou art my Lord, and I am thy servant. I have been greatly unjust to myself, and I confess my faults. So please grant me protection against all my faults, for none can grant me protection against all my faults but thee, and guide me into the best of morals, for none can guide me into the best of morals but thee, and turn away from me the evil and indecent morals, for none can turn away from me the evil and indecent morals but thee. O Allah, make Muhammad successful, and make the true followers of Muhammad successful here in the wilderness of North America, as thou did make Abraham and the true followers of Abraham successful, for surely thou art praised and magnified. O Allah, bless Muhammad, and bless the true followers of Muhammad here in the wilderness of North America, as thou did bless Abraham and the true followers of Abraham, for surely thou art praised and magnified in our midst. Bear witness that there is no God but Allah, who came in the person of Master Farah Muhammad. Now bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is his last and greatest messenger. Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the equitable, the restorer, the infuser of new life, master of the day in which we now live, or striving to survive. A day in which we make strenuous efforts against opposing efforts of our enemies. Allah, the manifest, the Lord, is a man of war. He's a commander in war. He's the disposer of affairs. W.F. Muhammad, Allah, God in person, with purpose and on principle. I bear witness that there is no God beside He. Further, bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the hand-picked general of Allah, by Allah, is in fact the mouthpiece and final messenger of Allah, the Elijah of your Bible and the Muhammad of the Holy Quran. Greet you with the nation of Islam's greeting words of peace, said in our original language of Arabic. Assalamu alaikum. Brothers and sisters, we have reached the time in the history of the world considered by the Holy Quran as the appointed time or the hour. This is the day of resurrection. This is the day of resurrection mentioned in the Bible. This is the day where the day of resurrection is given verification by the Holy Quran. Messenger Elijah Muhammad said, we aren't producing anything that you don't already have. Holy Quran 3:3 says, He, Allah, has revealed to thee the book with truth, verifying that which is before it. And He, Allah, revealed the Torah and the gospel. One of the essential misconceptions of the black man in America in regards to Islam is that the Muslims don't believe in Jesus, or that the Muslims don't believe in the Bible. But you know that we believe in Allah in the Holy Quran. Yet the Holy Quran is the book mentioned in chapter 3 of the Holy Quran that not only admits to being revealed after the Bible, but also that Allah is the author and sender of all three: the Torah, the Gospel, and the Holy Quran. What we believe is the truth of the Bible, but we believe that it has been tampered with and must be reinterpreted so that mankind would not be snared by the falsehoods that have been added to it. We believe in Allah's prophets and the scriptures they brought to the people. See, Allah's going to come in person. He's going to raise one from the dead. That one is going to reinterpret for us. So we, the Muslims, we say all praise is due to Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. We thank him for gifting us his messenger and final warner to us all, the most humble and honorable Elijah Muhammad. See, it wasn't no spook God that raised Elijah. But none of the prophets you say you believe in, none of these prophets, none of these prophets have produced a flesh and blood God for you. So what do? You accept the mystery God concept, but then you go and you worship the prophet. Now, we're going to have a discussion this afternoon. See, what we don't believe in is Judaism and Christianity. We believe in the Torah. The Torah was revealed to Moses. So we believe in Moses as well. We believe in the gospel. The gospel was revealed to Jesus, so we believe in Jesus as well. These are prophets of Allah. But Judaism and Christianity are not the religions of Allah. Messenger Elijah Muhammad teaches us that Islam is the religion of Allah, God, and of the black man. He said, Islam is the religion of Jesus and of the prophets before and after Jesus. And this is also according to the Bible and the Holy Quran. Messenger Elijah Muhammad said Allah, God, could not change his religion, Islam, because one would want to know why he changed it. He said Allah, God, created himself, and he chose from himself Islam. Therefore, by nature, he created himself the God of Islam. Islam has not changed since the creation. Islam always was. It is our religion, and he will not accept another. See, this is what time it is. The messenger said he created himself, and from himself he chose Islam. Islam is full and complete submission to the will of God. From himself he chose Islam, in that all things of his creation will exist in submission to only his order. He himself submits to his own will or order to get such and such a thing done. Nothing is created by chance. Nothing is created as the result of a big bang. All that is created had a creator. There's will, desire, manifestation, and submission. All praises due to Allah, the creator. See, as Muslims, we believe in Moses. We believe in Jesus. We believe in the holy prophet Muhammad of Arabia. And we believe in messenger Elijah Muhammad in America. Bold claims, standing firm on that truth against all opposition, even under the flag that we share. The Jews accept Moses, but they reject Jesus, and both Muhammads. The Christian accepts Moses and Jesus, but rejects both Muhammads. The old world Orthodox Muslims accept Moses, Jesus, the holy prophet of Arabia, but reject any revelation coming after that prophet. So they accept the revealed book called Quran, revealed through the angel Jibril to Muhammad, but reject the wisdom of the book taught by Allah in person to Messenger Elijah, final warner of Allah. See, this is why there must be judgment. This is why the judge in that judgment must be just. This is why a decision must be made today. This is the hour in the history of man where the dead would rise and the murderer of the dead would meet their own demise as retaliation or justice for the murders. The Holy Quran considers this the hour. The Bible considers this the resurrection. Both are correct. The resurrection takes place at this time, the present time, the current hour, but not a physical resurrection, a mental resurrection. So, in your own mind, black man, a decision must be made today. This is the day of decision, and you are in the very valley of decision. Us, the black nation in America, are the dry bones of the valley. But dry bones can't decide on anything. Dry bones can't decide because they haven't an alternative to that which they previously have, so they can't compare and contrast. They only know one way. Dry bones can't decide on anything because they are bare. They are bones because they have been stripped of everything, all flesh removed. The prey of a bloodthirsty predator eating us alive. All vital organs which sustains life gone. No covering, protection, or security, just dry bones, stripped and deprived of everything, all knowledge, all wisdom, all understanding of himself and others, starved to death, and as a result, leaving nothing but bones, stripped of our names, stripped of our language, our culture, religion, God, and stripped of the love of self, leaving us bare and uncovered as a man hit in the head and stripped of his raiment and left for dead. Considered nothing and nobody in the world. A nobody. A body of people without protection from our open enemies. Hmm? A nobody. A body of people without the knowledge of themselves and of their enemies. A nobody. A body of people without proper food, proper clothing, and proper shelter. No body, just dry bones left for dead in the valley that must heed the call and make a decision, because this is the hour. hmm, the dry bones stand up an exceedingly great army. This is the hour of resurrection. This is the war of Armageddon. Allah is putting his pieces together. Black man, what are you waiting for? You must stand up and become an exceedingly great army, soldiering for your own flag. For 1400 years, Islam spread throughout the earth to all who would accept it as a religion. But today, Islam must be realized by the whole of the black nation throughout the wilderness of North America. The time dictates such. Islam is to be realized, given actual or physical form to. Islam is to be realized as our true nature and accepted as our true religion. We are to accept our own and be ourselves. Our own is Islam. Ourselves are righteous Muslims. Nature. Created to submit. Created to conduct ourselves righteously. It's the very nature of us. The time dictates that Islam be realized by the black man in America. The end is when the lost are found, restored, and returned. This is the day that the prey of the terrible is delivered. See? Allah didn't create us with a nature foreign to his own. He didn't create us to oppose him, but to submit to him. The nature of Allah is upright. And it is out of this uprightness that he's the creator. He's the fashioner. He created and fashioned this nature. It is out of this nature that he created us. Messenger Elijah Muhammad said, Islam is not a religion, though. He said, refer to it as a religion, but it is not a religion. It is the very nature of us. So set thy face for religion, being upright. The nature made by Allah in which he has created men. There is no altering Allah's creation. That is the right religion, but most people know not. But we're going to keep the lights on so that you'll know all that you're willing to learn. That's Holy Quran 30 and 30. One of my favorites. But Islam is the nature of God. And the nature of the men, the only men that proceeded forth and came from God, the original black man. There is no altering of Allah's creation. He only says to it be, and it is. Once it is, then that's it. Once he says be, then it is long. Because whatever it is, it will be in submission to the God who willed it into being. All praise is due to Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. That's Bible, Ephesians 5 and 17. It's imperative that we learn the will of the true and living God, because it is the will of this God, of this Lord, that will be done on earth. There's only one kingdom and only one path to that kingdom. Confucius philosopher Shunzi said, the person attempting to travel two roads at once will get nowhere. See, you got one foot in, one foot out. That's the day of separation. You be done got split right in half, bruh. This ain't the day for that. This is the day of decision. Your life is on the line. A decision must be made today. Which way will you go? Will you go the way of the righteous, or will you go the way of the heathen? The path of the righteous is like the morning sun, shining even brighter till the full light of day. David said, lead me, O Lord, in your righteousness because of my enemies. Make your way straight before my face. Because there's a lot of crooked ways out here. But the path to the Lord, the true and living God, is straight. Elijah comes and makes the crooked path straight. The way of the heathen is a way that we should not learn or become accustomed to. I mean, that's what Jeremiah told us. Jeremiah 10. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman with an axe. See, they deck it with silver and with gold. Y'all right now deck the house with. I mean, like right now though, just got finished celebrating demons, witches, and devils. Now you had a little something to eat last week, Turkey Day, in the spirit of killing the original people at the hands of the devil. Now we about to start worshiping the white man's God as we deck our trees with silver and gold. See, you following the way of the heathen. The scriptures say they deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. See, this is Christmas, the spirit of Christmas, and the Christmas tree, the practice, customs, and way of the heathen. Messenger Elijah Muhammad says, every one of you should take those bells off your door. He said it is a foolish thing to worship a God with a bell while the Bible tells you that God will use a trumpet. He said if you display anything, it should be a trumpet and not a bell to announce the resurrection and the judgment. See? This is the resurrection and the judgment. The resurrection of a dead nation in the midst of another that is presently being judged. But Allah offers to you a future, black man. To accept this offer, you must first accept your own and be yourself. What is it that is our own, but we aren't presently in possession of? Our minds. Think for yourself today, black man. The lights are on. Who are we presently? That we are not originally Negroes, niggas, and colored folk. See, Negro is the name given to our fathers by the slave master. After depriving us of the knowledge of ourselves, knowledge of our names, knowledge of our people, knowledge of our people's history, the Christian slave master called us Negro. You are yet deprived of these things. So, what does that mean? You are yet a Negro. Negro means, according to Messenger Elijah Muhammad, something that is dead, lifeless, neutral. He said it's a neutral thing. He said it's something that you would have to move, or if you put it down, it'll stay right there until you move it again. Set a nigga down in the projects, he'll stay there until you move him, until you gentrify the hood. He said, Negro is not something that has any power of itself. It's moved by the power of another. So he gave us the name, and it means something that is dead or lifeless. And that goes for our mental power. The reason for mental resurrection. He said, after being deprived of the knowledge of yourself, then you are considered mentally dead. Resurrection means the revitalization or revival of, the restoration to life, the act of raising from the dead. See, only Allah could do this. Only Allah could raise one from the dead and send him back to the dead to raise them. But the majority of us under this white man's flag, the black man today under the white man's flag is blind, deaf, dumb, poor, despised, rejected, misplaced, mistreated, miseducated, and misunderstood. The black man today is dying the death of a Negro, and the white man is his killer. But retaliation is certain today. This is the day of requital, the day in which Fard Muhammad, Mahdi the Great, is master. It is he who offers to us a future. Your past was great, your present not so great. So your future is in question. I mean, because right now we are, as a people, at the mercy of the Christian world. But the Christian world offers no life, no light, no power to us as a people. Only continued slavery, suffering, and death. We're slaves to our impulses, slaves to our addictions, slaves to designer brands and designer drugs, slaves to debt. We're slaves in name and in religion. Suffering. We're suffering due to poor diet, poor choices, poor health, poor housing, poor education, mass incarceration, genocide, which is actually regicide, recidivism, and self hatred. All of this with churches on every corner in the hood. Self-hatred kills within first and murders without next. That's because our white teachers of the Christian world, the only teachers of our fathers, us, and now our children, never taught us to love self nor kind. They didn't instill self-pride in us. As a matter of fact, they failed in their duty to properly civilize us. Can you imagine Israel, the so-called Jews? Can you imagine them sending their children to schools flying the swastika and their children pledging their allegiance to that flag and being taught by Nazis? Can you imagine Mayfield being all Nazi instead of Jewish? I'm talking about right churches and cathedrals instead of synagogues. Yet Jewish families listening to Jesus being preached under the German cross. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine these same Jewish folk celebrating, honoring, or commemorate the Fuhrer, Chancellor of the German Reich, Adolf Hitler's birthday, or naming their children after his captains and lieutenants? I mean, can you imagine that? The Nazi regime, its allies and collaborators, murdered 6 million Jews. The Jews know that. The Jews are taught and reminded to never forget that. They were and are allowed to remember that. They live to themselves because of that. You can go on Mayfield and they'll love to give you reason to sympathize and side with them because of their time spent among their German brothers. But we have our own experience, time spent right here in the Christian West among their American brothers. See, when looking at the Jews, so-called Jews, we see a people who were murdered but are not dead. Huh? A people who were murdered but not dead. That's the difference between them and us. See, the resurrection is about the resurrection of the dead, not those murdered. Because as the messenger teaches us, death, the grave settles it all. Nobody returning from that. You return from a mental death state. See, we were murdered, and as a result of that killing, we are yet dead, dead mentally. The Jews are a people who were murdered but are not dead. They know who they are. They knew who they were while in Germany, before, during, and after the Holocaust. 6 million, they say, lost their lives. But the remaining kept their names, their language, their culture, their religion, and they kept the memory of what happened to them. These people ain't dead. They were murdered. Get over it. The Jews are a people who has had the knowledge of themselves since accepting the wisdom and guidance of Moses. 2,000 years after Moses, they confirmed to Jesus, the last prophet sent to them before they murdered him. But they confirmed to Jesus that they are not the people of the book of Exodus who were led out of servitude slavery in a land not theirs. Hmm? Bible, John chapter 8, Jesus said to the Jews, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. They answered him, we be Abraham's seed. See, they liars. We be Abraham's seed and were never in bondage to any man. How sayest thou, ye shall be made free? Well, hold up. If 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 they ain't never been in bondage to no man, that means no Pharaoh. Pharaoh is a man. They say they ain't never been in bondage to no man. See, this conversation between Jesus and the Jews is taking place 2,000 years after the book of Exodus. Here, the Jews are admitting that they are not the people of the book. If they aren't the people of the book, then who the hell is that fighting against Palestine, calling themselves Jews and are not, but are in fact Israel, the devil, the product of their maker, Yaqub? Jesus said, I speak that which I have seen with my Father, and ye do that which ye have seen with your father. They said, Abraham is our father. Jesus said, if you were Abraham's children, you would do the works of Abraham. But now you seek to kill me, a man that has told you the truth. This did not Abraham, meaning Abraham ain't move like that. He ain't get down like that. Jesus making it clear to them that he and they are not the same. He pointed out that they are not of the same father. Our brother Jesus was an upright man, born of the same righteous and submissive nature of his father. He was tapped in, though. He said, I seek not my own will, but the will of the Father which hath sent me. See, he was tapped in full and complete submission to the Father of truth. See, nature is the essence of a person. Nature is one's natural instincts or way of life. The nature of the righteous is submission to the righteousness. The nature of the wicked is to rebel and affect others with their wickedness. This is why they oppose the truth from Jesus. See, Jesus said, you do the deeds of your father, pointing out two separate fathers again. They repented and having knowledge of the scripture, they tried to hit Jesus low by saying they were not born of fornication. as was Jesus. Then they claimed God as their father. But Jesus said, if God were your father, you would love me. For I proceeded forth and came from God, neither came I of myself. Told them white boys that they are of their father the devil, and the lust of their father they will do. Jesus was born out of the same nature of his father. These heathens, born out of the same nature of their father. These are two opposing forces here. He said their father was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. He is a liar and the father of it. He said, he that is of God heareth God's words. You, white boy, therefore hear them not, because you are not of God. I mean, it's right in your book. I mean, right there in the 44th verse, Jesus is now revealing the nature of his white opposers. He telling them again that they are of two separate fathers, of two separate mates, of two separate natures, two opposing natures. But now he's delving more in detail. He revealed to them the murderous, lustful, lying, rebellious nature of them and their kind, the actual devils of the scripture. But see, Jesus was revealing too much too soon. Hmm? The workings of Satan was to continue for another 2,000 years. At the end of the appointed time of 6,000 years given to Satan to do his work. But the son of perdition and the Son of Man would be made manifest during the hour of resurrection. See? So Paul said, and last of all, he, Jesus, was seen of me, Paul, also as one born out of due season or due time. See? Jesus' teaching wasn't in season yet. David said in his Psalms, the eyes of all wait upon thee, and thou givest them their meat in due season. All praise is due to Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. I mean, we thank him for raising in our midst the most humble and honorable Elijah Muhammad. See, water represents life. Right? Water represents people because water is the source of life. Holy Quran 21 and 30. Do not those who disbelieve see that the heavens and the earth were closed up? So we rent them, and we made from water everything living. Will they not then believe? See, science all in that book. Water is the source of life. Water represents wisdom because just like water, wisdom is independent of anybody. Just like water, wisdom seeks its own level. Messenger Elijah Muhammad teaches us that higher wisdom forces us to think that we need. See? Higher wisdom forces us to think that we need more and more. This is why, he said, wisdom is infinite, because we see more and more. The more we see, the more we want to know. The more we know, the more we see. See, Jesus walked on water according to the book. But if it wasn't frozen, then he didn't do it literally. He said, I am from above. You are from below. The mental power or mental capacity of Jesus at that time was above the knowledge of the common man and even the scholars who were learned. The enemies of Jesus were his footstool, but only in wisdom, not in power, because it wasn't time that they be sat down. Jesus said the end is near. Elijah is telling you that the end is now. Now, because the time is ripe. The time is right. And the message is right and exact. We are now in due season. You must know these things, black man, whether you agree that Elijah Muhammad is on time or out of time. Messenger Elijah Muhammad said, if what I say is out of season, it goes for nothing. If I am on time or in season, then all I say will bear fruit. Hmm? Jesus said, I am the way and the life. He's saying, study me, hear my word. In it is wisdom far above what the world allows you to have of knowledge. Study my example, follow it to a brand new life, a pure life, because water also represents purity. A life where truth is its source and power. Messenger Elijah Muhammad said, truth is satisfying, untruth is terrifying. He said, hear truth and live, reject truth and die. See, a way of life with truth as its source is a satisfying life. That life is summed up in one word: Islam. Messenger Elijah Muhammad said, the more closer you try to live to me and try to follow me, the better your life. See, living close to the messenger means keeping his word. It means studying and following his example. See, Muhammad of Arabia only had the book, not the wisdom. Muhammad in the wilderness, which is the real Muhammad, has the book and the wisdom. This is what illuminates the book. This is what infuses new life during the hour of resurrection, the appointed time. Separation is imperative today because war is certain. Redemption is more pricey than bags or compromised bags of money. The bag nor the contents therein will survive the war. Not this war. This is the final war. This is the war that ends all war. Nothing consisting of the white man's brick and mortar will stand or last. No courthouse, no library, no church, no mosque, no masjid, no synagogue, nor temple will stand. We got to remember the people. The people are expected to survive and continue on to the hereafter. Here at the proper time, after our enemies have been made our footstools. And not only wisdom, but also power as dominion of this planet is handed back over to the black man to once again rule the earth. Let's get to work and get the people. We're going to keep the lights on. See, it's just us, not all people, as a show of justice. See, justice, so teaches the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Justice is the eventual working out of the will of God as indicated in the fundamental principles of truth. He said, justice is the antithesis of wrong. He said, justice is the weapon God would use to bring judgment upon the world. The purpose and consummation of his coming. See, it's just us who will rule, not all people. As a show of justice, after being denied it for 6,000 years globally, but 400 years locally, from the just judge, Master Farah Muhammad, the second coming of Jesus, he who brings us into all truth. Just us, just tis, and Jesus. It's the Armageddon War. Pick a side. We will leave you as we came before you with the greeting words of peace, yet reminding you that it's wartime. Assalamu alaikum.